Hello and welcome to Unpreachy, a podcast from St. John Chrysostom Parish. Today, Father Ed Hallinan reflects on Luke chapter 16, verses 19 to 31, the Gospel reading for Sunday, September 28th, 2025.
Good morning and welcome, everyone. I don't know if you ever had this situation. I can remember being in my fifth year at the seminary, and we had a course on moral theology. And there would be required readings on top of the class. And this professor, we loved this guy, Father Fran Meehan. And when we would be going through the required reading, he would say, check off what I tell you. Well, we checked off every reading that was in the syllabus, and then that was on top of what we learned from class. And so I used to think to myself, when we had the final exam, God, I wish I could have taken a peek at the questions that he was going to ask, because it might have limited, what I had to study for. Now, of course, I didn't do that. It was a course on moral theology, all right? So that would not be a good thing to do. That would be a real easy one. No, you're wrong, type of thing. But, I think sometimes we have that feeling. We wish we could look at the end game of things. And I was thinking to myself that Jesus gives us ahead of time the question and the answer to the final reality that we have when we face God. That we have the question that God is going to ask, and we have the answer that God is looking for, that's going to determine if we get into the kingdom of heaven. And the question and the answer is found in today's parable. Jesus gives us the parable of the rich man and Lazarus. And the way that this story rolls out determines if we get into the kingdom or if we go to the netherworld with the rich man. We see that the rich man is both indifferent and blind to the poor person, Lazarus, that is at his door gate each and every day. The rich man has the choicest clothing, the purple garment, the white expensive linen, the choicest foods, the choicest drinks, and Lazarus. Pope Francis used to say, the greatest sin in the world is indifference. When our heart isn't moved with compassion when we see someone that is in need. We see the rich man is so taken up by his own wealth that it blinds him to Lazarus. The dogs show more compassion to Lazarus by licking his sores than the rich man shows to Lazarus. The question, how do we treat those in need? The answer is that we open up our eyes and we look at who is at our doorstep. And then we respond with compassion. That's what Jesus is hoping each and every one of us will do. At St. John's, if we look at our doorstep, we see the city of Chester, one of the poorest cities in the United States. is at our doorstep. Do we act indifferently? Are we blinded by the own busyness of our own lives that we don't recognize Lazarus? We don't recognize the people of Chester at our doorsteps? I would say that we, as a worshiping community, you get an A+ for the way that you respond to the needs of the people of Chester. Each month, we have an envelope that goes to one of 5 charities in Chester. You respond overwhelmingly to that. If you put $1 in, you put $5 in, you put a 20 in, whatever it is that you opt to put in, you take the time to put some of your wealth into an envelope that's going to the Lazaruses of Delaware County. All through the year, and especially November and December, but all through the year, every month, but November, December, you respond unbelievably generously to the giving tree, to all the various things that we do, Thanksgiving, Advent, and Christmas. You respond overwhelmingly. Now, you may be sitting there and saying to yourself, you know what, Father, I know the parish does a great job with that. I've never really contributed to that. Today, you're seeing the question and the answer to getting into eternal life. And what Jesus is looking for is a change of heart. He's looking for compassion. So I would ask you, if you find yourself that you're in that boat, and for whatever reason you've blocked that from your view, open your eyes. And again, it's not the amount, it's the change of heart. It's the compassion that you want to show. The same compassion that you would want if you were in that position. That there would be people out there that cared. And that's what we're about as a Christian community. We are about living the gospel of Jesus Christ. A couple years ago, we had an incident where money was being taken from the church. And fortunately, we were able to discover that. We were able to rectify that. But one of the things that we did as a community was that we forgave that person and invited him and his family back to church here. And I said, if we can't do that as a community, we might as well lock our doors. If we as a community cannot forgive. And when I went out at the masses that I had and made that announcement, all of you clapped in agreement that that indeed is what we should be doing. Now, as far as the answer, you're sitting there and you're saying to yourself, what is it that I can do to assist those in Chester? Well, I'm going to tell you. Please take a parish bulletin, or if your parish bulletin comes to you by email, open up your parish bulletin and you are going to see that we are going to be celebrating Mission Fest October 11th to the 19th. We did Mission Fest last year on one weekend, but we had such great participation that we changed it to having it for 8 days. And if you see the bulletin, you'll see all the things that you are invited to participate in. But you're also going to see 2 QR codes. Now, let me tell you about my experience with QR codes. I had no idea how to activate it, like none. at all. And I'm talking to my niece, and she's like, Uncle Ed, do you know how to take a picture? I said, you know what? For years, I didn't know how to do a selfie because I thought that if you went like this, the phone automatically flipped around. I couldn't even do that. But then somebody told me to hit the button, and then it would turn it around. So that's how bad I am with technology. Uncle Ed, take a picture of the QR code. What comes up? I said, Amazon, and a list of things that people need. Well, click what you want, and then click purchase, and it's all done. So if you see your QR code, it's going to take you to your Amazon, and it's going to list the items that are in need for Chester. So again, I would ask you to take a parish bulletin, open your parish bulletin on your computer. And by doing that, and there are items for $5, $10. It's not something that's going to break your bank, but it's something that's going to break your heart with compassion. Your heart is going to break, and mercy and love and compassion is going to come out of that generous heart. God bless you.
Unpreachy is a production of St. John Chrysostom Parish in Wallingford, Pennsylvania. Visit us at sjcparish.org. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend. This podcast was produced by Brendan Lorden with music by Skytoes on Upbeat. Thanks for listening. Be well.